Hello, everyone. My name is Holly, and I am going to be the English trainer for this hour, or one of them at least. And we are going to do a conversation or discussion activity on what would you do if. So we will be systematically answering different questions. We'll talk first of all about conditionals, and then we will answer questions based on um, based on your experience. Hello, Thomas, and hello, Fausto. How are you guys today? Hello?
Hi,
Hi, how's it going, Thomas?
I'm fine, thank you. What about you? How are you?
Oh, very good, very good. So, yeah, it's 9 p.m. here, and I'm ready to call it a day as soon as this class is over. So, what time is it where you're at?
Right here is 10 o'clock p.m.
10. Okay. All right. And hello, Fausto. Are you there? And maybe
Hello,
it's still
teacher.
loading. Hi, how are you, Fausto? How are you doing?
Good. Okay, good. And you, teacher?
Very good, very good. So what time is it where you are?
Here in Mexico is 10 p.m.
10 p.m. Okay. Yeah. All right. Excellent. And Thomas, you are in Guatemala. No, where are you located?
Mexico City.
You are in Mexico. Okay, both of you are Mexico. Okay. For
Yeah.
some reason, as soon as Fausto said he was in Mexico, I was like, well, maybe Thomas isn't in there, and that's what I thought initially. So
This
anyway,
is a special class to Mexican people.
yeah, I had that one.
Yes.
Yeah, I actually had that once. It was like I think my second week teaching in here at Verbling back in September. The entire class was made of people from Brazil. So it was like,
Oh, really?
yeah, it was. We all thought it was strange, and then I've had a class like with at like 4 or 5 Spaniards, and then somebody comes in and breaks up the monotony. But yeah, so at
Okay.
this time of day, like 9:30, it's 9 o'clock here where I'm at, and 10 where you are. Where in South America, it's later, and so a lot of people aren't there. But then the Russians actually are waking up. So, Max, welcome. How are you today?
Hello, Holly.
It's nice to see
Can you
you.
hear me?
Yes,
Probably and
and
see me.
I can see you too. Yeah. Don't see your dog today. Hello. I just waved at the same time. So, excellent. So, if you guys hear
I
that
can.
squeaking, yes.
I couldn't push any button
Oh,
until the page was loading.
yeah, page loaded, yeah. If you guys hear that squeaky noise, that is my dog. So, and have you guys all seen the picture of him?
No, I didn't.
Oh, let me show you his picture. Um, Here is his picture right here. That is us in Finland back in, I think it was about 2007 or 2008. And so we're both much younger. So
But looks so cute.
he's getting old though. My mom finally admitted I've noticed for about a year that he's not as energetic as he normally is, or as he was. And my mom finally admitted this weekend. She said, "Yeah, he's starting to act his age." So
Okay.
Max, how old is your dog?
I couldn't
How old is?
unmute yourself
Oh,
myself.
you couldn't unmute. How old is he?
He's probably I think 5 years old.
About 5 years.
It's
Okay.
also
Yeah.
much
And
younger.
yeah,
on,
his
on my picture.
his size dog lives maybe 9 or 10 years, right? Because he's a bigger dog.
Uh,
Or do you know?
Maybe I'm not sure. I think
Okay.
yeah, 9, 10 years.
Yeah, because I think the smaller the dog, the longer they live, is what somebody was telling me. So, um, but anyway, let's go ahead and get started. This basically is a fluency class, so we will be we will be just practicing fluency, which means I will try not to stop you when you are speaking, and just let you speak. And if do check the chat. If I hear something that is really wrong, I will write it down in the chat. Otherwise, I will forget. And um, I do check that, and then I will correct your accuracy afterwards instead of while you are speaking. So, um, so the what we are doing is what would you do if? And I thought maybe we would quickly go over the conditional real quick. There's 3 types of conditionals. There's the first, second, or third. First is a condition is possible to fulfill. Second, the condition is in theory impossible to fulfill. And third, the condition not possible to fulfill. So it's too late. So let's look at these. The first, which is possible to fulfill, you will use the will and future. If the second is it might be possible to fulfill, you would use would plus infinitive, which is basically a verb. And then the third, past perfect, you would use would plus have plus the past participle. So if I would have been smarter in school, I would have studied harder. So, for example, first conditional, if I study, I will pass the exam. Second conditional, if I studied, I would pass the exam. Third, if I had studied, I would have passed the exam. So if you know that this is very, very possible, you would use the present tense, I will. Or you can change it around to I will pass the exam if I study. I would pass the exam if I studied, or I would have passed the exam if I had studied. Okay. So next, this is the long form. If I study, I will pass the exam. If I study, I will not pass the exam. If I do not study, I will fail the exam. So, or if I studied, I would pass the exam. If I studied, I would not fail the exam. If I did not study, I would fail the exam. Or the third conditional, if I had studied, I would have passed the exam. If I had studied, I would not have failed the exam. If I had not studied, I would have failed the exam. So during this class, hopefully you'll get a chance to practice these forms. And I'm going through this fast because you have already studied this. Many of you have studied this before many times. Of course, you have the short contracted forms where you change I will to I'll, I will not to I won't, I would to I'd, I wouldn't to I would not to I wouldn't, I would to I'd, and so forth. Any questions here? I went through this very quickly.
No, no questions.
No questions? Okay. Fausto,
No.
questions? No. Okay. So so the first part of the question is, what would you do if you were rich? So, Fausto, what would you do if you were rich?
Okay. If I were rich, I will
I like that. I
buy my
will.
own house.
Uh-huh.
I will buy my own house,
Uh-huh.
and I will run my own business or something like that.
Uh-huh. Okay. And I like how you said that. You chose the first conditional because it's very possible for you to be rich, right? So if I were rich, I will own my own home and run my own business. So that's very good. What type of home do you want to own, Fausto?
Talking about the size or something like that.
Yeah, like how many rooms? Yeah,
Okay. Well, I think that it will be something like comfortable, small, because I am caring of my mother. So
mm-hmm,
we are in my family. I have a shared family. So I
mm-hmm,
think that we are two members living together. In my
mm-hmm,
case, my
mm-hmm,
mom and I. So
mm-hmm,
I will decided to have a smart and comfortable house
mm-hmm,
very close to the hometown of Guadalajara. That this is the city that I am living right now.
mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, so you would stay there, and you would have a small house and with compacted space and so forth. Okay, because it is just you and your mom, right? So,
Right.
right, and you have instead of a short family, you have a small family. So,
Okay.
that is the word we would use in English. Short, it has actually more to do with how tall you are. A short tree. A tree is short or long or tall. Not long,
Okay.
tall.
Got
Tall
it.
or short. So tall or short, not long. So, yeah. Okay, Thomas, how about you? What would you do if you were rich?
If I were rich, I would go to travel all over the world. I
Mhm.
would take a great part of my time to know all the cities that I could to
Mhm.
travel. Um, with my family, of course, I would go with my family to every place that I could.
Mhm.
And of course, I would buy a beautiful house,
Mhm.
a home. In this case, I think that I would buy a house in some place that I could find so many trees all over the house,
Oh.
and with a beautiful garden, with a
Mhm.
beautiful playground, a huge playground
Ha.
around the house. Yeah.
Yeah. Would it be like would you have a privacy fence and people can't get in? Would it be a gated area
Yeah, well, I think that
where not anybody could get in? It would be just completely private for you and your family.
yeah, I think that most of the times, because I think that I have in my mind the security, my safety for my family, and
Mhm.
the most of the times, right here in Mexico, you build your house with with walls all around your house.
Oh, do you? Okay, so that's different than in the US.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, that's
Yeah.
right.
Okay, so it
And
would already be gated. So, yeah. Okay.
yeah, but if I would find a place where I see that the place is secure, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I will find privacy, but I wouldn't build any walls around if the place is secure.
Oh, okay. So if there's enough trees and things like that. So,
Yes.
would you want to live, for example, with this house, would you want to live off the grid?
Once again, I didn't understand you.
I know that's what I kind of asked so I could teach both of you. Fausto, do you know what to live off the grid means?
No, I don't. Sorry.
Okay, basically to live off the grid means to live up in the mountains and away from, and maybe up in the mountains or in the wilderness, away from all society. So
Or
you
something like countryside or something
in
like
the
that.
yeah in the countryside, yeah. So you're in the
Okay.
countryside, and you have your own generators for electricity, so you don't use local electricity, and you basically are completely private, so nobody even knows you're there, maybe. So.
Yeah, yes. For example, in my case, teacher, yes. If I would live in the countryside,
Mhm.
I will be happy because I think that big cities with a lot of traffic, a lot of people,
Mhm.
this kind of stuff, for
Mhm.
me, is, this kind of stuff stress me out
Uh,
a lot.
okay. Okay.
Uh, so in this case, in this kind of living in countryside, I think that I will be more relaxed or something like that, you know.
Mhm. Mhm.
Uh, Especially if that house will be close or closer than the beach or something like that.
Mhm.
I will love it.
Yeah, okay. So in the countryside, but close to the beach. Excellent. Hi. Hello, Nadia.
Hello, Holly.
How are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
Excellent, excellent. So we have Thomas and Fausto here from Mexico. And guys, this is Nadia, if you haven't met her yet, from Ukraine. And
Hi.
she's living right now, though, in um, New Zealand. So, so Nadia, today we are answering some questions. Bear with me a moment. What would you do if? So, what would you do if you were rich?
Mm, okay, maybe I'll I have a lot of
Okay,
travels.
so I would travel a lot, or I will travel a lot. Okay,
I
okay.
will travel a lot, and maybe I'll I study in university
Mm-hmm.
here. Yeah, because I studied only in university only in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
But here education it's too expensive.
Oh, really?
Uh,
Oh.
yeah, but I can get a mortgage. Uh, it's all no loan, study loan
Mm-hmm.
for study in university. But it's expensive, so it's
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, so maybe I'll have a lot of pets,
Mm-hmm.
dog, cats. Yeah.
So you have a lot of animals. Awesome. Awesome. So, okay. So, so you would travel a lot, and Fausto, you said you would also travel a lot. Not Fausto, was it? No, Thomas. Thomas said you would travel a lot. Um, so, Nadia, first of all, if you could leave tomorrow and you had as much money as you needed, where would you travel first?
Mm, in USA.
Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah, where in the USA?
So maybe it's Big Canyon. Yeah.
Where?
It's Big Canyon. Canyon.
Grand Canyon. Okay.
Great. Okay. Yeah. Great
Okay.
Canyon.
Grand Canyon. Okay. So, Grand Canyon. So over there in Arizona. So, okay. Thomas, how about you? If you had as much money as you need, where you can start your trip around the world tomorrow, and where would your first stop be? Where would you go first?
I will go first to France, and and I will try to travel all around Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I would go to Arabia,
Saudi Arabia.
Arabia, yes, Saudi Arabia, and
Uh-huh.
the place, that country that have the skyscraper biggest in the world.
Is that Dubai or is that Hong Kong?
Yes, that's right. I would go
One
to
or
Dubai.
Malaysia? I'm not sure.
But in fact, the biggest is in Dubai, isn't it?
I don't know. The last I heard it was Malaysia, but Dubai is. It doesn't surprise me because they've been building a lot. So let's Google that.
I have seen some pictures on Google, and this is a beautiful place. But well, I would go to Europe and even to the United States. I would like to go to know New York City.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I just checked it. Biggest skyscraper is in Dubai.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen some pictures and some videos about it, and this is beautiful.
Uh-huh. Dubai is beautiful. So it's a very beautiful city.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Um I was there during the construction and I still liked it. I thought it was wonderful. So yeah, so you have a lot of places you want to travel. So how about Fausto? You didn't mention anything about traveling, but if you had as much money as you needed, where would you go tomorrow?
Um, okay. Most likely, I would like to visit uh, Canada, for
Uh-huh.
example,
Where in
uh,
Canada?
Ontario, Quebec, Montreal.
Okay, the whole thing. All 4 provinces. Okay.
Yes, and also I would like to know Lima because I love the culture.
Uh-huh.
Inca culture for me is wonderful.
Awesome.
Uh, yeah, but well, I had gone, sorry,
Uh-huh.
to Venezuela and Brazil. For me, these places are so beautiful because they have a beautiful beach,
Mhm.
a Caribbean Ocean, I think.
Mhm.
For me, these beaches are so beautiful. I don't know why, because the color blue on them is wonderful.
Mhm.
The color of sand is very light and clear, clean,
Mhm.
especially clean. It, um, it doesn't have any rocks on it or something like that. Uh,
No.
and, and that's it.
Yeah. It's funny because I had never really thought about going down to South America until just in the last 5 years since I traveled to Colombia for a meeting, and since there I'm like I want to go back. So um
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do
yeah,
you know Cartagena, for example?
no, I don't. So
Oh,
I
you are
I
missing a beautiful thing, I think.
yeah, I need to go down and explore down in that area. I've done the Europe thing, so if I go back to Europe, it will be an extra. But I need to spend more time in Asia and go down to Africa and also South America. So those are the areas I want to go to. But
Yeah.
but the other place that I really want to go to, and if I were to go somewhere tomorrow, um, I have all the money, and I would go to Bangalore, India, because one of my best friends lives there, and I'd like to see them. It's been 7 or 8 years since I've seen them, so I would love to go there and visit some friends. But
And I don't like to visit India at all because
uh-huh.
I have a lot of Indian colleagues, because I
Uh-huh.
am working in an Indian company.
Oh
So,
wow.
yeah, so despite the fact that they are talking about a lot of beautiful things about India,
Uh-huh.
I don't like to visit there. I don't know why, maybe
Uh-huh.
because I don't know. I don't know.
Uh,
I know that, for example, Dubai, no, or Chennai,
uh-huh.
and Taj Mahal
Uh-huh.
uh, are beautiful things over there. But the rest of the rest of things in India are very, for me, a little flat. I don't
Yeah.
know. And that's it.
Yeah.
Because they are very influenced by his religion. They are a little close-minded or something like that. It's
Uh-huh.
very complicated try to face this kind of religious things. For example, in
Mm-hmm.
my work with
Mm-hmm.
in my job with them,
Mm-hmm.
for example, you cannot talk with Indian girls
Oh,
a
really?
little open. Yes, because you need to be a little respectful or something like that with them,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the girls. I don't know why,
Mm.
but for example, the men people uh,
Males?
can males I can talk with you a little strong.
Mm.
This is a little complicated.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, that's possibly the case. I've I went to university with a guy from Bangalore, and he became one of my best friends. And he married a lady from Delhi, I believe it was Delhi, and they lived in Dubai. That's how went to Dubai, and then probably about 5 years ago they moved back to India, and he had been away for 17 years. So, um, yeah, I've heard good and bad about India from them, but I want to go see for it to myself, and
Yeah, yeah,
and see, and I think it's just because of them, and he and his wife have always been so gracious to me and so forth. So, and now their kids were 3 and 5 when I was there, and now they're like 13 and 10 or something. So anyway, let's go to the next one. So Thomas, what would you do if you were poor?
The other side of the coin.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, well, I would look for a better chance to work, a better job, for example,
Mhm.
and to get more money and take a better way of life.
Mhm.
If
So
we're poor,
yeah.
even I would do all the possible things to get a better job, to do
Mhm.
something to improve and
Mhm.
go ahead with my family.
Mhm. So you
Um,
would look for as many opportunities as you can.
yeah, I
Yeah.
would go to everywhere. I would move around.
Mhm.
I think that I would wake up early in the morning. Uh, Even if I could back late at night to home, it doesn't
Mhm.
matter. I don't know. I would look for any way to improve the way of my
Mhm.
life.
Yeah. Question for you. It's something I've wondered about it, but I've just thought of it. Um, if I mean you and Fausto, both of you are from Mexico. If you were poor, would you ever migrate up to the U.S.? Because it seems like so many people do.
Well,
Is
yeah. Well, it's a hard decision because
uh-huh.
sometime I thought to do it because
Mhm.
my position was a little bad, but no, I'm just I decided to stay in Mexico because even
Mhm.
though the crisis is so hard, you can find a way
To
to
live.
to live.
Mhm.
And when you go to another country, whatever it is,
Mhm.
you you go away from your family and you leave your family, and it is
Yeah.
so hard to leave away your children and your wife or your husband.
Yeah.
So it's so hard, and to be communicating with your family by phone. This is so hard. This is not the same. And yeah, well, I wouldn't do it.
You
No,
wouldn't. Okay.
no.
Yeah. If, for example, in my case, teacher,
Mhm.
I would like to do that, especially talking about the improve my English skills, and that's it.
That's the only
And
reason, but not to make your economic situation better.
no, for example, in Mexico, I think I hope Thomas agree with you in
Uh-huh.
this in my opinion here. But if you can talk in English very well, or you are very fluent in English,
Uh-huh.
you most likely will get a well-paid job here in Mexico.
Uh-huh.
For example, we are having here an international companies.
Uh-huh.
So if you want to get this kind of job, you need to talk in English, for example.
Okay.
So that was my that was idea when I was younger to live in I don't know
And it's in an
in,
English speaking
in any English native speaking
country.
place like the US, for example, because it's very close to us.
Mm-hmm.
But, well, that is the only main reason to live there.
Yeah,
Not
it's to
try,
improve your
not try
English.
to live there for a long time. I
Mm-hmm.
think that for me, 1 year will be enough to try to
Mm-hmm.
speak English very well, and that's it. Come back
Uh-huh.
to Mexico.
Okay. Yeah, that's I've always wondered why some people choose to stay here and other people, come up for like a year and then go back. And so, but anyway, but Nadia, you are living away from your home right now. Um, would you agree with the guys that it's very difficult?
Sorry?
Yeah. Is it very difficult to live away from your parents and your family?
So yeah, maybe yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's difficult. Mhm.
Yeah. And you've been away for 14 months now? So,
Uh, yeah, but I lived in Ukraine separate with my
mhm.
parents.
Okay, so you were far from your family there as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, so maybe you saw that your family as much. That's one of the things that we joked about when I was living in Finland. My parents thought about it and they thought, because I am not really a rural person. I like big cities, and they knew that if I lived in the U.S. When I was younger, that I would probably choose to live in a big city. So they preferred that I was in Finland, as opposed to living in a big city in the U.S. So, and they were like, "Yeah, we see her just as much, and we hear from her the same amount." So, but okay. So Nadia, what would you do if you were poor?
Oh, maybe I'll try to change my work.
Uh huh.
And
Okay.
after that, maybe I'll try to change my profession. Yeah.
Professional. Okay. And go to do something different. Okay.
Mhm.
Right. And how, Fausto, what would you do if you were poor?
Okay, teacher. If I were poor, if I was poor,
Yeah, if I was poor. Yeah.
okay, I would es- I would study many things like for example I don't know um, mm, mm, plumber or something like that, electric electricians or something like
Uh-huh.
that.
Okay.
Try try to
So,
get money, and after that try to start climbing my career ladder. For example,
okay. Uh-huh.
study professional career
Mm-hmm.
and try to get a well job as I said before.
Yeah, so you would try to get make sure that you had a trade. So you maybe go to trade school and become a welder or an electrician or something like that. So, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's one of the things that my sister and brother-in-law are planning for their kids, that if they realize that they're not, when they're teenagers, if the kids are not academically inclined and they're probably not good, not university, they're hoping to make sure that they learn like welding or of some type of trade, so that when they graduate high school they can make money. So, but anyway, let's go on to the next. Okay, what would you do if you were principal of your school? So I know you guys are all out of school, so we would use the third conditional. So if I let's quickly review the third conditional on that one. So third conditional, I would have passed the exam if I had studied. So you would need to, because this is past tense, you would need to use past perfect. Would have plus past participle. Okay. So what would you do if you were the principal of your school, or if you would have been? Probably would have been better if you would have been the principal of your school. Um, so Fausto, how about you?
Okay. If I
Would have
had
had
if I had been the principal of my high school, for example,
uh-huh.
I
Mhm.
ha
I
I
would.
would I would have
Mhm.
uh, changed the planning of the I don't know topics or
Mhm. The curriculum is what we would call it. You
no,
change.
the plan of the topic in the high school, for example, history, grammar, this kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Uh, I I don't know what is the correct word here.
It's the correct word is called curriculum.
Oh, okay. Core curriculum.
Yeah, curriculum is the material that is chosen for a school. And so it is you would, when you choose the curriculum for a school or for a class, you choose the topics and or the subjects, and you also choose the material that is used, and that's what curriculum is.
Okay, well, okay. I would, sorry,
I would have.
I'd have changed the curriculum
Mhm.
and also changed some teachers because they were not prepared at all. Some of them, not all,
So change
but
the
I think that
teachers.
yeah, because
Okay.
they were no prepared for teaching this kind of topics to the boys or something like that.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, and that's it. I would like to be to have people more prepared when I was graduated
Mhm.
from the high school,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
and
So
that's it.
I would have liked to have been more prepared. So this is see, I would have liked to have
Hmm.
been more prepared when I graduated from high
Yeah.
school. Okay. Yeah, I think that a lot of people will say that. So, all right. Thank you. Okay. Nadia, how about you? Uh, what would you do if you were the principal of your school, or what would you have done if you would have been the principal of your school?
I didn't was the principal.
Say that again.
I'll create a lot of science, maybe exhibition, newspaper, organize a lot of so visited a museum, observatory, and another stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so I would have had more field trips available.
Okay. I'll have.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry,
Okay.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, I know I'm having trouble hearing you as well. On the chat, I just wrote what I thought you had said. I would have had more field trips available to the students.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And I think it's that type of thing makes it makes school more practical. So if you see what's out there. Okay. Excellent. Thomas, what would you have done if you would have been principal of your school?
Well, I think that I would have encouraged to the young people to keep on studying all the
Mm-hmm.
time, and even to graduate and get to college. The most of them, I think that I will have the starting programs uh, about sports, for example, football, soccer, basketball teams,
Mm-hmm.
starting some competitions with other schools, and uh, not even sports competitions. For example, mathematics competitions from the boys from a school with another schools.
Mm-hmm.
And I will have start some programs about the chances that the boys and girls could have if they keep going with their studies. I
Mm-hmm.
think I mean I would put them into their minds. I would have put the ideas to make it better and be a perfect citizen for the world and
Mm-hmm.
for the country and for
Mm-hmm.
the families even.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that that's quite important.
Yeah.
That's something that I have to do.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that is really important at that at that age for kids is to expand their worldview,
Yeah.
um, which doesn't happen a lot of times until students are in university, and I think it should happen earlier. So, um,
Yeah.
so I'm a proponent. I'll write that word for you guys down. Proponent of foreign exchange. I think that kids going and experiencing other cultures as teenagers is very important. So um,
And to put into their minds to be positive all the time.
yeah, yeah, exactly, and realize what the mind can achieve. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's right.
yeah,
That's my sense.
exactly, excellent. All right, let's go to the next topic. So, um, okay, this one you can put in the first conditional, right? The first conditional is if I won the lottery, I will, right? Because that's very possible. Okay. So, Nadia, What would you do if you won the lottery?
Yeah. So maybe I'll buy a house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, After that, maybe so I'll have a travel and yeah, and study.
Yeah, so same thing, basically the same thing as if you were rich. So, which is the same thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay, but in this one, we would do first conditional because it could be possible, or you could do second conditional. I would, but if you say will, then that's a more positive attitude. So, uh, Fausto, how about you? What would you do if you won the lottery?
Okay, teacher, if I want the lottery, I think that I will share that money with my family,
Uh,
and also I will donate part of that with people with special needs or something like
Oh,
that.
wow, that's neat. That's great. Do you have people in your life that are special needs? Is that why you think that way? Or do you have a heart for people with special needs?
No, in my case, I think that for example, if I want a lottery,
Mm-hmm.
have a lot of money in my side, I think that if I won't share part of that, I
Mm-hmm.
will be a little selfish
Mm-hmm.
because I need to share, I need to do positive things with that. I don't know
Awesome.
why, because I think that this is a God chance.
Mm-hmm.
He's give me this kind of opportunity to share something that he gave me
Mm-hmm.
if I want lottery. So
Mm-hmm.
I think I need, we have here in Mexico, we have a lot of things that we need to do. For example, try to help people with special needs,
Mm-hmm.
try to help the poor condition of some peoples around in my hometown, for example.
Mm-hmm.
You can participate, try to improve or the neighborhood or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe you can do a lot of positive things in your country, and that's it.
Yes. Awesome. Like Carlos has just written, you have a pure heart. So that's great. Great, Fausto. That's awesome. Uh, Thomas, how about you? What would you do if you won the lottery?
I was thinking my answer. I think that if I won the lottery, I will be so happy.
So I would be happy. Okay, that's a good answer.
But that doesn't mean that I'm not happy now, but
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I would be so happy. In fact, I think that I would leave the job and
Okay.
I would try start to run my own business.
Uh-huh.
But I would take some time to rest. For example, I don't know, maybe 1 month.
Mm-hmm.
I would go to Cancun to take some
Mm-hmm.
vacations with my family.
So would you
And
take like what we call it a gap year?
yeah, sure, of course. First of
Mm-hmm.
all, because I have been working from my infants. From when I was
Mm-hmm.
a little boy, I started to work. So I think that I would to take a break for at least 1 month, and after that, I would run my own business. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, whatever it be. I would
Yeah.
take.
Have
I
you
would.
thought of I'm sorry. Have you thought about the type of business you want to run?
Yeah, I have seen some options, but I don't know. I don't have the money to invest right now, but I have
Mm-hmm.
seen some options to take.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So, okay, let's go ahead and go on to the next one. So, okay, so Nadia,
Mhm.
you're in Auckland, and you realize you've lost your passport. So, what would you do if you lost your passport?
Oh, so I don't know what I will do because I have only Ukrainian passport because now I have a work visa and maybe I should go to Australia because only Australia has my Ukrainian so I don't know branch, yeah, Ukrainian, but
Do you have a consulate in New Zealand?
no, I don't have any Ukrainian. So can yeah,
Consulate.
maybe we'll go to consulate. Yeah,
Yeah, because I
I
think
should
that would
go.
be, you couldn't go because you couldn't leave New Zealand and you couldn't go to Australia unless you have a temporary
Yeah,
a temporary passport or something.
yeah,
Yeah. So, but then you'd probably have to go to Australia to get everything all set up again. So,
yeah.
wow. Yeah, I remember when I was in Finland until I had a I had also had my passport had my visa in it, and yeah, if I lost that, it would not have been a good thing. So, Thomas, how about you? What would you do if you're traveling somewhere and you lost your passport?
Well, I don't know. I haven't traveled a lot, but
Mm-hmm.
I think that I will go to the consulate for my country in that place, and
Mm-hmm.
I will explain my position, my problem, and I will tell them that I needed uh, to
Mm-hmm.
take another passport to back home.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Yeah. And I'm sure that that I think is one of the big problems that all the consulates do is help their nationals. So, okay. So Nadia, next question. What would you do if you could speak English fluently?
So fluently it means oh sorry, fluently it means good or bad.
uh, uh, Fluently is good. That's what you're going for now. So you're studying English in order for you to be fluent. Fluent is what a native speaker speaks. I speak English fluently.
Okay.
So
So maybe I'll have a um, mm, better work and so I would have a lot of friends
mhm,
here because now I can't have any friends um, from Kiwi or another English people. Yeah, only with Russian.
oh
That,
really?
yeah, because so I had confused mm,
Mm-hmm.
because my English is not so good and I can't understand. Sometimes I can't understand people. Yeah, and
Okay. Yes. So yeah, it's funny because when I was in Finland, I was there for I was there for 11 years, and after I think it was the fourth or fifth year, I started to spend time, and it was very difficult for me to spend time with Finns who could not speak English. If they spoke English fluently, then I could spend time with them for the same reason. But then I started spending time with these ladies who had a similar hobby as me, who could not speak English, and
mm,
I was shocked with how quickly my Finnish improved. So, if you had the opportunity to maybe find some, Kiwi ladies that have maybe a similar hobby as you, you will it would be a very good experience. I hope it helps. I hope you're able to do that. So yeah, but Carlos, I agree. It is easier to understand Americans than Kiwis for most people because of Hollywood. So, but yeah, I hope that you were able to find somebody through a hobby or something. But because you really will find that it will become easier and easier to understand. So anyway, okay, Thomas, how about you? What would you do if you could speak English fluently?
Well, the first thing that I would do is to change my work. I would go to another company and try to get a better job. That's
Mm-hmm.
the first thing that I would do, and I would look at a chance to travel to another place, for example, to go to the United States and I don't know to know so many people like the case of Nadia, and
Mm-hmm.
the main thing that I would do is to change my work
Mm-hmm.
quickly. I would do it.
Yeah, so big thing is the work, and of course, if you're living in a non-native speaking country and you speak English fluently, you have a lot more choices of work. So if you're
Yeah,
bilingual, if you can speak Spanish and English both fluently, man, you have no you have all kinds of opportunities. So
yeah. You can earn more money. That's real.
yeah, so but it's but if you're native speaker of English in a non-native speaking country, it's harder to find a job. So if you can't speak the other language, so except for like English language teaching, that's a good one, but otherwise. So okay, what would you do if you were told you had 1 day to live? Nadia, what would you do?
You were told you had 1 day to live. What is this question about? I can't understand.
Okay, so what if you were told your doctor said, Nadia, I'm sorry, but you are going to die tomorrow.
Oh,
So what would you do today?
mm, so I don't know. I can't think about. I have never think about it.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Maybe you would call your parents and you would fly home and hug them. So how
yeah,
about you,
I
Tom?
have parents, but I don't tell them about it.
Okay, you
So
wouldn't tell
because
them. Yeah.
yeah,
Just let
um,
yeah.
oh,
So
I don't know what I'll do.
okay.
Maybe
And
I'll try to um, mm, get under the water because I have a problem with my ear and I uh, have never been underwater. It's like a diving or another. Um, yeah,
oh, so
I,
you would do something you've never done before, like diving. That's a good idea.
yeah.
But you're gonna die anyway, so you might as well. Yeah. Excellent. Thomas. Carlos writes, Carlos, you're funny. Carlos writes, I would kill the doctor. So
Yeah.
that's a good one. So
I would do
Thomas, you would kill the doctor as well?
it.
Yeah, I would not be happy with the messenger. I'd rather not be told I'm gonna die. Even if I had 3 months to live. I'd rather have them say, Holly, you have as long to live as you want to live. And so anyway, so Thomas, what would you say? What
I
would be
don't
the
know. There's so many things to do. If I were told that I have 1 day to live, I don't know. There are so many things that come to my mind. I think that I would try to live deeply that day and take it all the
hmm
time that I could take to stay with my family.
hmm
That's what I
yeah,
do.
Yeah, I still like Carlos's answer. So I would kill the doctor. You're funny. So, okay, well, everyone, I hope you had a chance to just practice speaking, and I hope this was fun. And I see you in another class. So I'm gonna, like I usually do, Tuesday and Wednesdays. I don't teach a lot of group classes, so I'll see you probably later on Tuesday, Wednesday maybe. Bye. Thank you.
Okay. See you. Thank you.
Bye.